through 3 hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, it's the After Show, where we have James, also known as Jim. Didn't know you had an AKA, did you?
I didn't. An AKA. I have an AKA.
An AKA. That's right. And Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Tom.
The After Show, of course, is where we can beat things around with a little bit more enthusiasm. Anything that's worth beating is worth beating well. I like that.
Well.
Nice.
Say what? What'd you say? What?
Oh.
All right, let's go talk to Lance. Hey, Lance, are you with us there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, love your show, long-time listener.
Thank you.
My question was about bump stocks. It's kind of funny. I bought one, before the Vegas shooting, and I had it in the back of the gun safe, and I forgot I even had it. And I noticed it the other day, so I actually asked a law enforcement guy, one of my friends. I heard you're supposed to grind it up, and then I heard possibly it'd be grandfathered, and I figured you'd know if anybody would know.
It is definitely not grandfathered. You are not allowed to own one now by law, which is a BS law, but there it is. So I think there are instructions either on the ATF website or probably on YouTube on the correct way to destroy it. I mean, honestly, from my standpoint, nobody's going to say, do you have records of how you destroyed it? As long as you got rid of it, you could cut it in two, you could chop it up. As far as I'm concerned, you can go throw it in the ocean. I don't care. I mean, the whole thing irritates me anyway because it's just a stupid deal, and it's, a President Trump betrayal of us. Not saying that I'm not going to support him, but people need to understand he is only marginally pro-gun. In this case, He wasn't. He didn't get it, But all that being said, all you're really asking is, what's the deal? Yeah, you need to get rid of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I hadn't heard much about it. In fact, I forgot about it. I forgot I even had it. But it looks like I'll get it taken care of. And
I'm sure that there are an awful lot of people who've kind of forgotten about their bump stocks and haven't done anything about them because they would agree with me that it's a dumb idea anyway. And they're not hurting anything and not hurting anybody. And you didn't hurt anybody with it before, and you're not going to do it now. But if you're asking what's the legal deal, yeah, it's
I've
just
never
still
even tried
sitting
it out
there.
yet. So
they're kind of gimmicky. They were fun, and now they're illegal. I actually have people who are into the full auto stuff, the NFA, and they didn't like the bump stocks because they said, well, this is just a way to get around NFA. And I'm going, yeah, because NFA is a bogus law too.
Right.
It should be done away with. Of course, they're thinking, yeah, but if that happens, my $20,000 machine gun will be worth about $1,200.
Right.
So, I mean, I get that, but there were a lot of gun people who said, who cares? Let them go. Right. I don't know if that helps you, Lance, but there you go. That's the deal. All right. Well, thank you, sir. So, yeah, that's just one of those you go, okay, it's over. Not going to get it back. That's not going to change. So, on one level, guys, you kind of move on, but on the other, you also file that little piece of information away, which is to say, don't assume that Trump or anybody who says he's pro-gun is completely pro-gun. There are varying levels of that, right?
Right. Yep.
Oh, well. So there you go. So, Michelle, I was trying to help you out here. I was covering you with our guy who said he went in and rented 4 different guns. I know you like that call.
Yes, because it's a perfect time to be able to try different guns, find a range that has different ones to, rent that you are interested in or about the same carry size and just basically work through them, right? I mean, within a couple of shots whether or not it's comfortable and whether or not it's something that you want to go with for carrying. So accuracy is accuracy. A magazine in and you're good. Move on to the next one.
What was interesting to me was the 2 that he didn't like or didn't shoot well were 2 of the very best guns, the best manufacturers, the Glock and the SIG.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and it's not as if one was light and one was heavy, or he liked the lighter weight guns better than the others. That wasn't it, because
Right.
the SIG is heavy. You would think it would be easier to shoot, having some weight, less recoil felt in the hand, better target acquisition, but he had the same problem with the Glock, which is lightweight. So who knows?
Go figure.
Right? It's just
Yeah.
how it fits.
But he found two guns that he did like out of the mix. Now, the next person in, right behind him, might say, well, I really like the Glock and the SIG. Those are my favorites. You go, yeah, fine. That's okay, too.
Right. Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of it, to be able to try something new. Cheaply.
Yeah, cheaply. That's right. Well, what's it cost? I know people are saying, well, what would it cost to go rent a gun? So if you want to go rent a gun at a range, how does that work? How much does it cost, or does it by the shot or by the hour? How do you do that?
Yeah, well, the way our range facility is set up is you rent the range by the half hour or the hour, and then you have a fee for renting a gun. And whenever you use our new guns on the range, it has to be with our newly boxed ammunition, not allowing reloads in, basically, to destroy one of our guns. But I think there's lots of places like that. So, I mean, for us, it's $10 for a gun rental, a box of ammunition, and then however much time you want to be on the range for. And then if you want to rent an additional one, it's not as much money. The fee is less, because obviously you're doing a comparison of several guns. So, we work within that too. And for us, even, somebody's like, I really like this gun. It's like, you want to try a couple of shots? Let's just go out to the range and try it. And so we offer that all the time. So it's a great opportunity to be able to get them out on the range and try something. Now, obviously, these stores have a hard time. We can't have every firearm manufactured available.
Oh, come on.
I know, right? But, we try to have the most popular ones, at the time. And the Glocks and the SIGs and the Smiths and the Rugers, I mean, those are the ones that most people, and it's like, well, if you enjoyed this one, it's going to be extremely similar. It's this, approximately the same weight and the same size, all that type of thing.
Right. And it's kind of like taking a test drive in a car. Once you do that, for the most part, it's probably going to confirm everything else. I like the looks of it. I like the feel of it. I'd love to shoot it a little bit. And then you go, yeah, I'll take that.
Right. And that, I think, is the whole purpose of it. Just, people don't always understand. It's like you buy a gun, you take it home, you shoot 5 rounds, and whether you shot 5 rounds or 500 rounds, it's a used gun. Once it leaves that store's premises, It's done. You walked out the door, it's used.
Yeah, it's like they say, when you drive it off the lot, now it's a used car and you've lost value. Same thing on a gun.
Yeah.
Now, do ranges ever sell their used rentals?
Oh, we do. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, they're discounted, obviously, because they're used, but...
Really?
Yeah.
No way. See, I'd upcharge people for that. Well, Michelle Cleland
it's
shot
well
this
broke
gun.
in.
So.
Yeah, it's broken in by...
It's already broken in, right? It's been cleaned a couple times, so you're good.
But yeah, I mean, to move on, to get a new model, I mean, honestly, you don't have to go through a lot of guns. There's programs out there that you can buy new every year or update it as you want to. But, we look at ours yearly as far as what are people looking at, what are they wanting, what's the new exciting carry gun, and we add that to our range collection. So we try to have more offerings rather than limitations.
Makes sense. Anyway, hold on. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, I want to talk about the different types of gun buyers. You've got the occasional ones, the rare ones, and the ones that simply have to go check out everything that's new. That's what makes the differences there. We got different folks that love guns, and some folks just want to buy like one every once in a while. We'll talk about that when we come back.
The Kimber Evo SP is a 9mm carry gun with reliability you can count on and looks you can brag about. And now you can save $100 with a rebate on the Kimber Evo SP. Learn more about this great deal on the Kimber Evo SP at KimberAmerica.com. That's KimberAmerica.com. Or ask about the Kimber Evo SP at your local gun dealer.
Want great deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gundealio app today. With Gundealio, you can search for deals, listen to the Gun Talk podcast, watch gun videos, read gun news, and get notifications right to your phone about deals and special offers. Save money on the products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gundealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
And we're back, and just silly as always. You guys are silly, you know that, don't you?
Oh, it's us.
Yeah, it's you. Are you silly when I'm not around? Am I the contributing factor? Consider that. So, Michelle, do you have obviously people come in, you've never seen it before, but do you have regulars who come in and want to take a look at everything new?
Oh, absolutely. There's people that we see once a week, every week.
Really?
And just come in.
Huh.
Well, but stores are constantly changing. Like with our store, we have used guns in and out and consignments that come in and out. So people come in to take a look around to see what might be new and exciting. So it's not always just the brand new guns, but it's like, okay, what'd you get? What is new?
Oh, sure.
Used?
If you got to trade in, it's like, okay, there's only one of these in the store.
Right.
And if it's pretty cool, it may be gone. If it's gone, it may be a year or 4 years before I get to see another one of those.
Right. And, with the unfortunate deaths of some people, we have the ability
As opposed to the fortunate.
Yeah, Jim and I are both just going to jump right on that one. Okay.
Okay. With the passing of our loved ones.
There you go. Much more diplomatic.
We have, the ability to, when they were good customers of ours, the spouse or family members will reach out to us and say, okay, look, we have all these guns. We're wanting to keep these in the estate. We want to get rid of all of these. And so, there's stuff like that comes through too. So people are always in and out, but people do come in. Obviously, there's more guns being introduced more frequently than there ever was before. I mean, every week it seems like there's something new, although that's an exaggeration. But at least once a month, there's something new coming in. It's a new introduction. So people come in, take a look at them, handle them, whatever the feel is, kind of compare them and whatnot.
Now, do you also have people who say, okay, I'm interested if you get trade or you get a used Python, as soon as you get one of those, give me a call.
Oh, absolutely. We have waiting lists on such said firearms.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because, if you were, for instance, a Python collector, you'd say, I want to know about every Python that comes in. I will drop what I'm doing and run down there as soon as just give me a call. I'll be there.
Right. And we have, some very good customers that we've gotten to know, over the years of business that, well, that's a Remington collector, or that's a Savage or a Winchester collector.
Yeah.
Call them because this might be something that they're excited about. We have somebody that collects Remington 700s and just about every caliber out there, ADL, BDLs, whatever it is. And, it's like, hey, we thought of you. We'd like you to come in and take a look at it. If you're interested, we'll hold it for you. So,
Man, that's got to be a big collection because they've made so many of those in various, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
But, even oddities, there's so many people that are into Mausers. Oh my goodness. The amount of Mauser actions that are out there in different guns.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff that I've never seen before come in, or, it's hard to say. Carbines.
Yeah, they'll come in and say, well, that was made for the Finnish army between 1943 and 1957.
Right. Or this was a trainer gun, and it was adapted this way. And you're like, wouldn't have known that. so it's
we are nothing if not geeky.
Right? And what you know and love is beyond anybody else's comprehension and understanding of firearms.
Yeah,
so,
but Jim, it's the same way with cars. If somebody's a Mustang collector, they know everything about every model.
Right. They'll learn, though. They'll figure it out eventually and switch over to Corvette. But that's fine.
Oh!
How about guitars?
You see the emails coming in now. Oh, boy. Well, we're going to hear about that one.
Yeah, oh, boy. So I think I have achieved, speaking of Michelle's comment, I think I have achieved a certain level now because my wife said, all right, this is a new record. I just found 3 guitar picks in one shirt pocket.
Did you forget to throw them out to the crowd when you were done?
Well, last night we had a little neighborhood music event, and it was my first time, I'm brand new, about a year into this, to play in front of anybody. And it's like I've got this fear of, well, what if you drop your pick? Well, you ought to have several of them in your shirt pocket, so that way...
Oh, sure.
Right?
It's like having 22s or BBs in your pants pocket,
yes.
right?
Oh, always. Yeah, right.
Oh.
Oh, gosh, yeah. So, did you ever, as a kid, when you were shooting BBs, put a bunch of BBs in your mouth?
Ugh.
As a way of putting them into the gun?
No.
Oh, yeah. That's what we would. I mean, when we're talking 8, 9 years old, we would just pour a whole packet of BBs into our mouth. I'm talking 50 BBs.
You're the reason. You're the reason why they came up with those warnings.
That's right. I am the reason. That's right. Because when you see me, you go, yeah, see, that's what we're talking about. That's what happens to people when they do that. You use him as the example right there. Now, you want to talk about corrosion and rust in the gun? Let's see. Let's then take a little opening to the BB gun, your Red Ryder or something, and spit all the BBs into this opening.
That's gross.
Yeah, what would possibly corrode?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, it just seemed easier than fumbling them with our fingers. That way you could just spit them all into the gun, and then you get back into the game. So,
Yum.
Oh, boy. It's no wonder that those guns didn't last that long.
I was going to say, especially being in Louisiana, right? Like, that humidity didn't add anything to it.
No, not at all. Holy cow. It never occurred to me, we could have actually, used gun oil as a mouthwash, and then put it all together, and it would have been taken care of.
That would have been much better. Like, Tom, what are you doing? Of course,
your buddy comes along and slaps you on the back, and...
Oh. Happy's 9 mouthwash.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
And the only reason Tom and his buddies did that is because they didn't have Tide Pods back then.
No.
They hadn't been invented. That's right. If only we had known.
See?
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
Don't
those
ever
BBs, do you remember? Those BBs came in those little bitty, cellophane packets. You remember those things? I don't think they do anymore. They come in boxes, but they were 50 or 100, and you had to tear. Here's the thing: you had to tear it open, and once you tore it open, the packet's open.
Well, see, you used your teeth already, so it only made sense that
That's
you
true.
put them in your
That's
mouth.
true. And then you put them all in your mouth. And we use those Daisy Model 25 with that little scissor action cocking deal that would just pinch the bejesus out of your hand with that scissor action. Because if you're not big enough yet to reach all the way out and hold on to the forearm, you're holding on to the metal scissor part. When you shoot it, it snaps closed, and you got a blood blister on your hand.
Right.
So, see, I told you, shooting is dangerous.
It wasn't so much the shooting your eye out. It was
no. It was just, it's being stupid is what it was.
pinching your finger.
So, pinch your finger, swallow a BB or two. Oh, well.
Don't go to California.
No kidding.
Be kicked out.
Now that we've confessed all of these things, we probably ought to catch our breath, and we'll come back. And I'll be quiet, and you guys can talk, because every time I talk, I just kind of put myself in greater jeopardy. Is the statute of limitations out on that yet? I don't know.
Oh, Jeopardy!
Want to win a gun? Hey, this is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Visit guntalk.com/win to enter our latest giveaway. This month, enter to win one of 2 new guns from Sig Sauer, the P320 X5 Legion with 3 17-round magazines, or the P365 XL X Series with 2 12-round mags, both in 9mm. Enter now through August 2nd at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Okay, we're back, and I'm not talking.
It worked, Michelle. It worked. It took 5 years, but we got him to let it go.
Okay,
There's
I'm
a
back
good
now.
song.
Damn it.
Didn't last, did it? Ha, ha. So there.
Guess it is your program.
What? It is?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Cool. It's cool. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the first 25 years or so, but
By the way, Jim, all your gear worked today for the most part, which is very cool. You got like all this new stuff, and I know you were sweating bullets, so to speak, on this one.
He still is.
still am. Yeah, it was it was more than I bargained for, but I allowed plenty of time, kind of like being prudent, and still had something go weird at the first thing. And the weirdest part was, it was something you and I had tested 2 seconds before we went to air. And
We
it was fine.
just tested it. And it's a brand new cable, and then it went out on you and couldn't hear the caller, or in this case, a guest.
Right.
And then you used an old cable, and everything worked fine.
See, there's a lot to be said about that.
See what's old is new again?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so it was discovered what the problem. I just took a shot at it. I mean, at that point, I had no idea because I'm scratching my head going,
Yeah,
no,
you
everything
start
looks
changing
right.
things.
Yeah, I mean, it looked it looked right. It worked right. Literally, how long were we testing? Maybe 2-3 minutes before we went to air, and everything was cool.
Yeah, it worked fine.
Yeah, so whatever. But all things considered, when you look at the grand scheme of things, we got a lot of stuff that's talking to each other, and for the most part, everything's working. I'm sure we'll hear about something later.
So you're actually going to get air conditioning too, huh?
We are. We is.
Ooh.
Not just window units. We're really stepping up in the world.
Welcome to the 1960s, baby.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Carrier, actually.
Yeah, really.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, I
People
didn't
understand
I didn't do any shooting this week. That's what Tom and I have been doing, the other engineer. Tom and I have been moving stuff and tearing down stuff and building furniture and running wire. And the funny thing is, all the old equipment, the few pieces of gear we did keep, none of it was interfaceable with the new stuff with old
Nothing's
cabling.
compatible.
Oh, yeah, because everything's digital and different kind of systems. I mean, your old stuff was, 20, 25 years old?
Well, I mean, the other stuff was newer. Phone stuff was newer, but the board itself, was about 20 years old, and it had served us well, so I went with the same brand. Nice shout-out to Yamaha, by the way. And I have to give a shout-out to our generator man, because, a guy named Hollis, who's a listener. We're working on this. He's running propane out to my generator because I wired it all up and was waiting for the propane guy because they won't let me tie in. So I'm like, okay. And I'm glad they didn't because when I saw him do his
because
job,
they know about your record. So they go, no, don't let him touch anything.
Right. So the guy's hooking it up and we start talking. And like I do to most people, I'm like, so, do you ever do target shooting here? And, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah. And I said, do you ever listen to Gun Talk? He says, yeah, on Sundays on WSPD. I says, yeah, well, that's why you're putting this generator in. No, what are you talking about? And I told him. He's like, you got to be kidding me. So there you have it, Hollis. Thanks for being a listener, buddy, and thanks for all your hard work on the generator. It's still, you cross your fingers, right? He says, well, go ahead and throw the switch. I'm like, well why aren't you throwing the switch? Okay.
And why are you backing up?
Right. He's got a 2x4 to smack me with if he has to. So it was funny. I put a camera on the UPS, the backup power, and started recording. Went outside and flipped the switch and said, something had to shut off. Something had to bite the dust. And came back to the studio. Everything's happening. I'm going, oh yeah, baby. So it was kind of.
Well, you know what this means, don't you? Once you get the generator all wired up and plumbed up and running, the power will never go out.
Probably, yeah.
Yay.
And that's where we're at right now. And that's okay too, man. Peace of mind is worth something. Same reason why you take care of your guns and clean them so they'll function when you need them, and hopefully you never need that either.
Backups.
Yep.
That's why. I mean, I did the whole house generator backup. You got the generator backup. It's like, okay, we're probably never going to need this, but if we do that one time, it's going to be important, and won't it feel good?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at selling, power to the neighbors when they're down on their luck.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
right,
you need to power up your cell phone, huh? Yeah, $10. I'll charge that for you. So yeah,
you're gonna have to charge a lot of phones to pay for this rig.
That's
baby.
true. That's true. So anyway, yeah, it's been tech hell, but all things considered, I'm real happy. It sounds great, and the issues we have are all tweakable and fixable, and are further ahead than I thought we would be.
You're talking about all this stuff. I'm imagining all the stuff going into it. I'm thinking, isn't it nice that guns are so simple?
Yeah. I'm looking at all of these cords that are tied here and there and connecting this and that. And I'm like, holy cow.
See, what she doesn't know is I laid about 20 cords out that they go nowhere. Just to impress her, yeah.
It's kind of like our conversations.
And they go nowhere?
They go nowhere.
They go nowhere. Minus the impression part. So no guns for me this week, but at least I got to talk and work with a gun guy, so.
That's right. Okay, well, that will work, certainly.
I'm off the hook, right?
Well, that's right. So, let's see. I had, the comments that were made, it was actually an online article.
Those are
MLN or something. The guy says, well, I really like guns, but I can't stand Tom Gresham. And, then he went on with some other stuff about, well, he's a FUD, and let's see. Oh, and then the one that says, and I never believe anything, there's no value to anything he or Larry Vickers says. I'm thinking, well, let's see. Larry Vickers is kind of like the real deal. We're talking special forces guy who's really a gun guy and all. And then he says, well, but at least Vickers can shoot. I'm going, well, okay. I get that you're trying to hurt my feelings, but I'm not sure you can really tell if I can shoot from the radio. I'm just saying here.
Right. That's funny.
But it was like, really? What in the world?
You can't win them all, and if there's somebody that doesn't like you, remember, there's always people that did like Charles Manson. So I wouldn't take anybody's opinion too seriously. You know what I mean?
So at least I'm slightly better than Charles Manson, is what you're saying.
Well, in my eyes, moderately, substantially, but seriously, I mean, you're never going to please everybody. And like I said, some people, I would have said to this guy, is it respondable? Can you respond to this guy's comments?
Oh yeah, I did. Oh no, I went further than that. I said, well, because he would say, well, people say, well, you ought to call the show. And he said, well, that's ridiculous. He says, because he just shouts you down and cuts you off, and he doesn't allow any dissenting or descending views, is what he put. So it doesn't allow any descending views.
Descending?
And so my response, it's supposed to be dissenting, but So, all right, you'll love this. So it was one of those you could actually respond. And of course, I've had this happen 2 or 3 times. People start talking about me on some of these forums, so I'll just pop up and go, hi, guys. I'm here. And so I went on and said, tell you what. I said, if you'll call the show, I will give you the floor, and you can explain what you're talking about here. So why don't you just call the show and let me know. I said, the only other thing is, you're going to have to use your real name instead of hiding behind a screen name.
Ooh.
Ouch. Ooh. Of course, you can always use a fake name. People call us and say, he's Santa Claus or something. I don't care. But anyway, it was just one of those deals of going, if you have something to say, come on out and say it. Hiding back in the corner and throwing bombs, that's not exactly a mark of bravery back then.
Was it really Santa Claus? Was it really Santa Claus?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was really Santa Claus. Yeah, the real one.
Awesome.
Not the ones that are like on the corners out there.
And we have the Easter Bunny on line 2, Tom. Nothing suspicious about that call.
Yeah. No, of course not. Hop on in. There you go.
Okay.
So let's see. We have 142 people running for president on the Democratic side now, I think. Something like that. And they are universal in their desire to put repressive, restrictive gun control laws on it. So whoever it is who comes out of this mess, whether it's Biden, who's only moderately crazy and somewhat very much anti-gun, and a panderer, and also just dumb as a bag of rocks. That's personal opinion, but it is probably verifiable. Although I probably have insulted rocks when I said that.
We have an attorney from the International Rock Foundation on line 6 would like to speak to you, Tom, about a defamation suit.
Ooh, there was a really good rock group called the Rock Foundation. I like that. Anyway, so whoever we get, what I'm going to find interesting is to see how the gun debate goes once we get to the actual general election, when it's not a race to see who can be the craziest, which is what they're engaged in now, but we're going to try to appeal to the general public, of which about half like guns and think guns have a good role. Actually, it's more than that, but roughly 40% of the people own guns at this point, but 70 or 80% of the people think that guns in the hands of good people are okay. So this is going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's crazy time. I mean, after 2016, there's parts of me that don't want to watch any of it. It's just so consuming. It really is. It's consuming.
Yes.
It bids friends against friends and relatives against relatives.
Right.
And
it does.
Yeah, I've lost several friends over that election, and some of them I'm bummed about, but overall, I did okay.
Well,
we won, and they outed themselves. I mean, they outed themselves on topics that we never had brought up before, because just never did. I mean, they weren't big gun people, but there are other topics that came up that they turned out to be real vocal on. I'm like, wow, I never knew that about you. Thanks for revealing that to me. So actually, in that aspect, it's like anything else, good and bad.
Yep, I know. It's what it is. But it'll be interesting theater to watch. See what happens with
Theater.
Exactly right. So let's see. I go get my new rifle this coming week. My single shot. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I think this guy who didn't like me also didn't like the fact that I like single shot guns, and didn't understand that you could actually own a semi-auto and a single shot at the same time. But that is allowed.
You can have more than one. Do you want us here in the studio to compile a list of other things he should not like about you, and he just is overlooked? Or
Sure. Well, you can just use that list that's on the wall over there.
Yeah.
So I think that would work just fine.
Oh, our dartboard. You mean our dartboard? Yeah.
The dartboard. Yeah, I like this. Yes, exactly. You got the big whiteboard, and you can add to it as you go.
Oh
okay.
yeah. Yep.
So. Well, if in that case, I'll put you in touch with my wife. She can probably fill in some of those for you.
Nice.
So there you go.
Nice. Also, next week we will not have an after show because we have a special Ted Nugent event coming up here locally.
Oh, that's right. Tell them what you're doing.
Yeah, we the band I play in, messwithemily.com, shameless plug. We've played we hosted a benefit for a special needs house around here. And we met this guy. He was about 6 months ago, a young man. And we have a mutual shine for each other, the group and he. So we got him a guitar for his birthday, which we talked about on the air a little while ago. And he was all surprised. And he got guitar lessons donated to him and cases and picks and stuff. And he's actually pretty natural at it. It's turned out pretty cool so far. And so I contacted Ted and said, Ted, listen, we got this guy that we took under our wing and blah, 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 and we're coming to your show anyway. He says, you bring him backstage and I'll give him a walk around. So we're going to take him to meet his guitar hero and get a little walk around backstage, and it'd just be pretty cool.
Awesome.
But unfortunately, it's at the same time during the after show, so I put in a plead to be removed for a week, and Mr. Gresham granted that.
Perhaps we should get in contact with the Mrs. Gresham and have her send a pic or two of Tom's.
There you go.
Maybe you could use some more.
You could. Autographed guitar pick. I like it. I did have some custom guitar picks printed, but I'm not going to discuss them on the air. Yes. Totally inappropriate.
Okay. Oh, inappropriate. Okay.
Inappropriate.
Oh, speaking of inappropriate, the folks at Dick's Dick's Sporting Goods have decided that they're not even going to carry hunting rifles anymore. They're getting rid of all their guns.
Why don't they just take
living up
to
the name?
I was going to say, why don't they just remove sporting goods from their name? Be more accurate.
Yeah. Well, I just think that they're living up to their name.
Yeah.
So there you go.
No kidding.
Speaking of inappropriate things to say, there you go.
Well,
technically
you didn't say it. You didn't say it. You sidestepped it nicely.
No great loss at all, because now people can actually go to gun stores to get guns and ammo.
Fascinating thought.
Yeah.
Wise
Because
girl.
when your big box store decides to get rid of its gun section, and now you go back to go to the gun store and they're not there because they got undercut by the big box store, and you wanted to save $5 on a box of ammo, and so you went cheap and didn't support the local store, and now you have no gunsmithing available. I'm sorry, am I on a rant again?
It seems like it.
Justifiable. You know what? Have you seen, and maybe they're out there, I'm sure, but I've been to several big box stores because I'm nosy. I always shop at Cleveland, though. I have yet to find a big box store that had a gunsmith that I was confident in.
There used to be some.
Yeah.
The old Gander Mountain, they had, I think they were the largest employer of gunsmiths in the country, but they're not really around anymore.
That's probably why I've been waiting in line so long.
Nice.
Closed for 2 years.
The deli counter, your number hasn't clicked.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, most of the big box stores, I don't think they have gunsmiths. Most just sell stuff.
Well,
I mean, certainly a Walmart or something is not going to have anything.
Right. And people have to realize the only reason they have that stuff is because they can make money off of it. It's not because they agree with the rights or stand by you with what you believe is important. It's because it's profitable, even though
and
it's
so
not as much profit.
And so are guns, but when you've got a slew of lawyers saying, well, you know what, the liability here is just too high, and the margin doesn't justify blah, 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 blah.
Well, as I've said for years, as soon as their analysis people come in and say, we could actually use that square footage and make more off of paint.
Exactly.
Yep.
It'll be paint there.
Well, yeah.
That's what it'll be.
We've seen it come and go in several stores, big box stores.
Yeah.
They have ammunition, they don't have ammunition. They have guns and all of that, and now they don't have the firearms. They only have the ammo or whatever it is. It's just about the money. It's not about pro rights. It's frustrating.
Yep. Yeah. And what you're also not going to get there is the kind of discussions you could have in a real gun store and meet interesting people.
Well, because you're dealing with a clerk, you're not dealing with a gun person. I mean,
right. Well, yeah, you better make sure that you really know exactly what you need when you go in there.
If they want to fill out a 4473 and sell you such and such, they can do that. But you want a gun store to talk to gun people.
Now, to be fair, there are some people who work in the gun section of big box stores who are real gun people.
Sure.
And you will run into them occasionally. So, I mean, I'm not trying to put them down. It's just that,
but they're few and far between, I found.
Yeah. I would encourage people to patronize their local gun stores. It's a cool experience.
Okay.
Enough of that. I have ranted more than I should have and would have. So no after show next week so people can have the time off. They can actually get a little piece of their life back.
Sweet.
There's that.
All right.
Or if they want, they can come back and listen to this after show.
Yeah. That would be 2 listeners then if we gained another one. That'd double our listenership if we can gain one more listener.
Excellent.
We better start over.
A membership drive. There you go. I like it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have yourself a great week, and we will pick this up again next Sunday.
No.
No.
But I'll miss you.
Oh, my God.
No, just
help.
listen to this one. No, you won't.
Seek help.
Zeke Help. Who's he?
Yeah. He's a counter guy at a big box store.
That's right. Oh, Zeke.
Touche.
Okay, now I'm not going to miss you next week at all. I can tell you.
All right, be
Bye,
safe.
y'all.
Be
Bye.
safe.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk after show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gundealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk after show.